Hello, everybody, and welcome to this DreamWakers daily conversation. My name is Erin, and I'm so excited today to be joined by Matt Blood, the Director of Player Development for the Baltimore Orioles. Matt, it is such a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer all of our questions.
Sure. Good morning, Aaron. Thanks for having me. I'm glad.
Awesome. Well, let's dive right in because a lot of students that the DreamWakers community serves are interested in careers in sports and not just being athletes, but the careers that are around that. So I'm wondering if you can explain a little bit more about your role in player development and what maybe a normal day at the office looks like for you.
Okay. Well, I work for the Baltimore Orioles. I am the director of player development, which sounds pretty self-explanatory, but my role really is with our coaching staffs. I help organize and mobilize that group, which is a little bit over 50 to 60 people. And our job is to provide the best um, educational player development experience for our players. And so on a daily basis, I am communicating with our staff, and typically I'm out and about at our affiliates and seeing people at different places. So my day kind of varies based on the time of year, and then also where I am during that time of year. So a lot of it is just communication and organizationally driven.
For sure. And that's something we hear a lot. And I think it's surprising to students that there isn't just a typical day to day for a lot of jobs, but it changes depending on the year, the project, and things like that. Well, I'd love to talk about your work now because obviously not only your job, but baseball is like postponed. We're living in this pandemic age where we're all working from home, and I'd love to hear about how your work has changed and how you've adapted in this kind of new environment we find ourselves in.
This is a unique environment. I don't know if we've experienced this before. I mean, in baseball, we do have all seasons, but we're in season right now. And typically, I would be traveling around and seeing our different minor league affiliates, which many of them are in Maryland, but seeing our coaches and our players and just working with them on whatever they need. But now we're having to do all that online and virtually through different platforms. And we've gotten creative to figure out ways to stay in touch and to continue to interact and to work on the different things that we've challenged ourselves as our personal goals. So it's now just more at home and isolated in person, but we're still connecting and seeing each other on a daily basis via technology.
Yeah, it's really amazing how technology can still connect us through all of this. Well, I'd love to rewind a little bit and talk about you and what drew you to this career in sports. Was this something you always knew you wanted to do, or is it something you discovered later on?
Well, I always knew I wanted to do something I enjoyed. That was always important to me. I had a hard time not. I had a hard time doing things that I didn't enjoy or finding the motivation, and so I knew that was very important. And sports were always in my life growing up. And I played just about every sport there was, and that's how I made my friends, and that's how I learned life lessons, such as how to deal with adversity or failure or success. And it was always on, at my house. So sports was on my mind. And baseball just is where I kind of found my path. That was the sport I was probably better at playing, but I also just got more interested in it, and so that's what led me in that direction. And then when I was in school at the University of North Carolina, that's where it got even more focused. I did many internships along the way that progressed my career, and I wound up getting hired by a major league team shortly after graduating from college, and the rest is kind of history.
That's awesome. So, did you have any role models or mentors that really maybe inspired you or helped shape you into who you are today?
I'd say all along the way, fortunate to be around a lot of really good people, and I'm a believer that everyone has something to offer, and everyone you can learn something from everyone, and so I've been fortunate to have been able to do that from some really high level coaches, leaders, mentors throughout my entire uh, life. I'd say my high school baseball coach in South Carolina was someone who really, his name was Chris Carter. He's someone who really struck a nerve with me on discipline and on just love of doing things well. And then from there, just all the people that I've been exposed to over the last 20 years have really made a big impact on where I am now.
That's a really lovely sentiment that everyone you've met has had some sort of impact on you. Well, for students who are interested in following kind of your career path and getting a career that's similar to yours, do you have any advice about skills or maybe classes that they should be focusing on in school, college, and beyond?
Well, first of all, it's a very challenging and demanding industry in terms of people want to be a part of sports, and rightfully so. It's enjoyable to be a part of. I would say that the best thing to do is to gain experiences, as many as you can, and not try and specialize in one particular thing as you're young. I would try and get an internship anywhere that is involved in sports when you're young. Earlier the better, and then from there start to find your way. One internship will lead to the next internship, which will lead to the next one, and you may learn along the way that nope, I didn't enjoy that so much, and I'm not going to do that. Or hey, that was interesting. Maybe I'll build on that and go down that path. So I wouldn't say there's one particular skill outside of having a growth mindset, outside of communication, like learning how to communicate and collaborate with others. Like those types of things are universally important. And then outside of that, it really is just kind of how your path develops through the multitude of experiences that you have.
That's a really great piece of advice, and it actually segues really beautifully into our next question because we frequently hear from our students that they have trouble with group work. And so I was wondering, you touched on it. Can you talk about how important being able to work in a team is, and if you have any advice for those students who maybe struggle with that collaboration?
Working in teams and collaboration is one of the most important skills for success, and the reason for that is you are not as good as a group of people can be. And I say that because you can always learn from other people's ideas and other people's perspectives. But the only way you can do that is through humility and adopting and understanding how important it is to be humble, and that your idea or your process, while it may be a good one and you may believe in it, isn't necessarily the best one, or it could be improved. And the only way to improve it is to get feedback and to work with others and to listen, to truly listen to others' opinions and others' perspectives. And so understanding that and then developing the skills to collaborate and listen and be humble and want to improve, it's imperative to success in the future. With our organization and player development, we have three main pillars. Humility is the first one, and then the two right underneath that would be growth mindset and collaboration. And those are really the only three things that we talk about, and we feel like if we stay true to those three things, then we're going to be successful.
That's really awesome. That's great. Well, I'd love to talk about similar, but what are some of the challenges that you face in your job and how do you overcome them?
The biggest challenge is the size of our staff and the fact that we are not all in the same location all the time. The only time we are all together is during spring training. But for 75% of the year, we're spread out at the affiliates or at home. And like I said, we've got close to 60 people in our staff, and everyone, the biggest challenge that I have is that everyone needs to feel significant and respected and heard. And all of our people deserve that. They're all great people. And that's just a challenge. It's a challenge to connect with them the way that they deserve to be connected with regularly when there's that many and when they're that spread out. So I would say that it is a daily challenge that never ends that we have to strive for.
Yeah, but sounds like it's very important. I love that you said they deserve to be heard, you know? It's something important to keep in mind when you're dealing with that. So you also touched on this one, so this is great, but many of our DreamWakers teachers teach about growth mindset in classes. And for those of you who are watching who don't know what that is, it's this idea that we're not fixated, we're not just bad at something, and we're not just good at another skill, but with a lot of hard work and a lot of determination, we can, improve ourselves in whatever we put our mind to. So I would love to hear your perspective on the growth mindset. Is it important? And, how do you use it in your day-to-day?
Love this question. Growth mindset has been a journey for me over, my life. And I would say that it took me a while to understand it and to really believe in it. Or believing is not the right word. I was ignorant to it. For the longest time. So I think it's great that your teachers are educating about it. But growth mindset is one of our three pillars, and in my opinion, it's one of the most important things that you can learn and adopt in your life. The idea that challenges you should embrace and view them as opportunities for growth is crucial. Failure is just a stepping stone, something to learn from. And then the big one that I think is very difficult, something you have to work on regularly, is feedback. Feedback is gold. Feedback is, if taken properly, is the way to self-improvement. It's not an indictment on who you are. It's not an indictment on you as a failure. It's just an opportunity for you to learn. So I would say those two things, growth mindset is huge. It's also very important to know that you're not one or the other. You're not growth. You're not fixed. You have a choice. And to be aware in the moments when you're tending toward or trending towards fixed mindset, that's where the magic happens. I think that it's inside of us to feel fixed mindset at times or often, but then it's like, okay, here I am. I'm having a little bit of fixed mindset here. Now, what am I going to do about it? And if it means enough to you, then you kind of switch over to that growth mindset. It couldn't be. There's not another thing that is more important to teach your students than growth mindset.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's something we talk a lot about here at DreamWakers, and everything you said is absolutely right. It's so important, and every opportunity that we have, every failure, every mistake, and every piece of feedback we get is just an opportunity to grow. So I love that you said all that. Well, I'd love to switch gears a little bit. What has been the most memorable moment in your career? I'm sure you've had quite a few.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question, and I'm probably not going to give you an answer that you're expecting because, well, maybe you are. I don't know. After the conversation we just had about growth mindset, I have had some really exciting, good memories. But the most memorable experience, the most impactful experience for me in my career actually happened last year. Last year I was working with the Texas Rangers. It was my first year with them. It was my first time back in professional baseball after 3 years with USA Baseball running the national team. And it was my first go at being a director of player development with a new organization, new people, pretty big leadership role, and it was not going well. I did I didn't know some things I didn't know, and I needed to improve. I needed to grow, and so the most memorable experience was about 6 or 7 months in. I had a sit down with 4 of my bosses, and they gave me some very honest and direct feedback about how it was going. And in that moment, I had to kind of make a choice. How was I going to listen and accept this feedback, and what was I going to do about it? And in the moment, it was very difficult to hear, but after the fact, it was transformational type feedback, and so I will always remember that moment, and I'll always be grateful for that experience because I think it really helped me make some adjustments that I needed to make, to be successful going forward.
Thank you so much for sharing that story. I know from a lot of our speakers, we just hear about all the wins, but it's so nice to hear about those times when, maybe we are just getting some feedback about how we need to improve. And it happens to all of us. We aren't all perfect. And I'm glad that that was something so memorable to you because for a lot of our students, that's, like we say, the opportunity to grow with growth mindset. Well, we have just time for one more question. We wanted to talk a little bit about why Sports Week. We have this whole week themed around sports. And it's not just because sports are really cool, even though they are, and it's not just about how excited we are for summer and warm weather, but it's because sports are all about celebrating those wins. And for our students, we know that you've just gone through a particularly tough school year, and we want to help you celebrate what a win that is. So, Matt, I'd love to hear, 1, what's your favorite way to celebrate a win? But 2, as our students are wrapping up with the year, do you have any advice or maybe a piece of wisdom that you'd like to share with them?
Well, to me, the most enjoyable way, and really the only way to celebrate a win is with the people that you went through that journey to accomplish that win. I want to be around those people, and I want to celebrate with them. And so just those relationships and those connections that you've built are really what that win is all about. Sports is about trying to win, but really it's about more than that. It's about the people that you work with and go through the hard work with. And so it's those wins and even some of the losses, it's about that. And it's about continually trying to improve. So that is how I like to celebrate wins. In terms of advice for the students, I would say work on self-awareness, mindfulness every single day. And I would say the growth mindset. But past that, it's go out and get experiences. Be humble. Go out and learn from others and gather as many experiences as you can. Don't specialize too early. Try and gain knowledge from all different areas of whatever you're somewhat interested in. And from there, you're going to learn what you like and what you don't like. And then also from there, you're going to create relationships and network with people that may be helpful now or may be helpful in 10 years from now. And so always be out there being humble being respectful and learning, and from there, the sky is the limit.
That's really great advice. Thank you so much. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. But Matt, I just want to say thank you one more time for taking the time to answer all of the questions, for being able to speak to the students out there who are interested in sports. I know that this conversation is just invaluable. So thank you. For everyone, yeah, for everyone watching at home, just wanted to say that you can tune in on our Facebook Live at 1 p.m. to catch all of our streams. And if you ever miss them, we upload all the videos to Facebook and also to YouTube, so you can watch them afterwards and see what all of our speakers have to say. But that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.